Yo, what is going on, guys? It is midnight, and today we are talking about the new event in general, and also a few different team builds, not only for the event, but I'm also going to do for like farming and stuff like that. Again, sorry about there was no video yesterday. To be honest, completely honest with you, there's, as I said before, there's a very lack amount of content that you can do on this game. So I do kind of need to spread out the videos of the time being so that they're not daily, because until they start adding like events like multiple at once, there's such limited content. And also there's no, what's it called, no face cam in this video, simply because my hair is an absolute state and you don't need to see me anyway. Let's be real, guys, come on. Next video you get to see me. #onlyfans.com. Better go give me a little look-see there. Right, let's get into this. Now I'm going to start by saying there's not going to be any gameplay because most of these units I don't have leveled up, but in a free-to-play scenario we're going to kind of go off that. And relics, I'm not going to talk about relics because then that would just drag out the video a bit too long in my opinion, and we don't really want to do that. So we're going to start off. This will be your team when you start the game. You'll have no one, you'll have Nabe. That's about it. There you go. That's your team, right? Now, for free-to-play players, more often than not, obviously you're going to start summoning and you'll probably re-roll. But on the off chance that you're like me and you don't re-roll and you just kind of take what life gives you, or if you re-roll but you've got something else on your account that isn't Eins or Mare, we're going to get into like the different strengths and benefits. So to start things off, I'm going to, because it's a lot quicker, I'm going to start with the farming teams that you can kind of go with and like kind of work your way through. So the first unit that you'd most likely get, that pretty much everyone would have by now, is Hamsuk. So let's just swap him and Nabe around. So you start off with Nabe, you have like, let's just say worst case scenario, you just get like loads of 3 stars. So you have a full team of 3 stars. Let's just chuck in, I don't know, let's just chuck in the first ones that come to mind. These two, there we go, 48 luck, 36, Jesus Christ. So yeah, this is your team that you started off with, right? So you got like 2 3 stars, you got Nabe, and you've farmed the event and you've got 1 copy of Hamsuk, regardless, like 1 copy, right? So this is okay. So starting with Hamsuk, as long as, or Hamsky, I'm going to call him Hamsky because that's the actual name, but on the game, that's what his name is, Hamsuk or Hamusuk. So you're going to have this sort of like looking team. Obviously, you'll probably have better characters than 3 stars, but worst case scenario, I'm going to start with that. So this would be your team. You would run Hamsky as your first unit because of higher luck, and for farming, you typically want more drops. So if you're going to be doing co-op, all you're going to need to know is, for the early stages, you just use Hamsky and that's fine. Just level him up. But as you start pulling units, a good 4-star unit for farming. So let's say, where is he? Where is he? There he is. So these would be my next upgrades. So you've got 2 crappy 3 stars, and I'm going to keep Nabe there just because free to play. So these would be like your, like, let's just say you got lucky and you pulled either Entma or you pulled Zaryusu. I would add them to your team for your farming team when you're on solo. Simply because Entma, there's not really any other 4-star that AoEs, but Entma does buff the team so you can get the mission done quicker because you will attack first, you will do more damage. So it will just typically make it a little bit quicker for you and a little bit easier as well. Zaryusu, on the other hand, is quite a high damaging 4-star unit, as well as the fact that he has an AoE skill. And typically when you're doing like farming events, you want to be doing AoE to get your mission done as quickly as you can. Higher damage is even better. So this would be like quite a solid team to run for farming. Now, this would be pretty reasonably free to play. So even if you don't pull both of these units, you can, if you pull at least one, then I'd pop that on your team. But if not, like for the time being, just run whatever you have, plus Nabe and Hamsky. So the only reason why I've got Nabe there is because free to play, but we're going to change it now. So now the more even better team to go with for farming, and this is for solo, you would replace Nabe with Eins. You'd place Entma with where is she? Good old Albedo. And you could replace Zariusu for someone else, like Demiurge maybe, or even Aura. But personally, if you want really, really quick runs, like just AoE, 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 then this would be your best farming team you could make. The other kind of team that you could do is you could replace Zariusu, and the only unit I don't have is him, but you could replace Zariusu with Pandora, and you could buff their speed and attack so that you get the missions done quicker and your AoEs will do more damage. But if you don't have Pandora, like this is probably like the fastest solo farming team if you have them all leveled up. Minus Hamsky, but the only reason why Hamsky's on here is because he has 80 luck. You can get him and he's the highest luck unit at the moment. So to get even more materials from farming, this would be the ideal team. But obviously going up in them sections, you can always replace units that you don't have that I showed you with units that are 3-star or 4-star units that you have. But overall, this would be like the most quickest farming team you can make so far. Now, let's skip. No, go away. Right, we're going to skip on. Again, now here is, we're going to start with, no, we're not going to start with you actually. We're going to start with you. And we're going to start with Nabe. And then we're going to have 2 3-star units. We don't care who they are. So now this would be like your end game team. This would be like kind of teams that I would say would be pretty good to run pretty early stage. So let's just say you start with these units here. You just fill those 2 gaps on the far right with whatever you got in your summons that you think's best. But on the off chance, I'm just saying these are 3-star units that I would use. So you've got Hamsky for a tank, and you've got Nabe as your free-to-play unit that just does really good single damage target. So the next person that you would probably want to get that is free-to-play would be this Lup right here for the event. And that's because she's a pretty good healer, especially the fact that you can get her for free by just getting through the event quite reasonably well. So this Lup does quite a high amount of healing, as I said before. And if you haven't pulled one already, then she's always a good starting point to kick things off. And she's a 4-star, so you can get her to level 80, which can get you through to most of the event. Now, Lup, Nabe, Hamsky tank, you're going to be taunting with this towards the higher missions. You're going to have Nabe doing majority of your damage at the moment, and Lup trying to keep your team alive and doing some minor damage on the side. Now, the next unit I would use on this team, and again is another free-to-play unit, is I would use Shizu. Now, Shizu right now, for a free-to-play unit, is insanely good. Like, she's probably the best free-to-play unit in the game at the moment because of how much damage she does. So you should be able to get 2 units before you start struggling in the events. And if you can get 2 units, I'd recommend these 2 units because they can help you get further in the Chaos Field, as well as later on down the line when you get more Chaos Field events. If you still don't have good 5-star units by then, or even good 4-star units, then these are always good alternatives. Now this is the team at the moment. Now, oh, where are you going? Now, so let's just say this is your team, and you want to start improving your team one by one, right? So the next improvement would be replacing this Hamsky with this one. So again, if you have this Hamsky and you have the other one, then this one's always a better improvement because statistically, or with stats basically on general, so their defense and HP is better. Then for this Nabe, if you wanted to improve, we're going to come back to Nabe because she's actually pretty good. Like you don't really need to improve her for a while. I think the only improvement you could really do to her that is 4-star is possibly Zariusu. But Nabe, the free-to-play one, is pretty good. Like there's not many good, like better single target users. There is one that comes to mind, but we're going to improve that for the next one. Now, if you have the only improvement that isn't 5-star over this free-to-play healer would be, where is she? Crush. So you would use Crush instead if you have her. If not, I would probably use the current Lup rather than the purple one. And if you want to improve Shizu, the next improvement to Shizu, in my opinion, would be the better Shizu. So if you have any of these units, These are all better than the free-to-play units that I just quoted you and said to you in the previous thing. Another alternative that you could do if you want to miss out on damage, but, well, miss out on 2 damage dealers, is you could replace Zariusu with Entama. And that is still a pretty good team. Like, that's the best 4-star team you could really go in, like, straight into the event. Like, this would probably get you quite far, although you'd have to be very picky with when to use your healing skill on Crush. But yeah, this is a pretty good 4-star team to get you through it. Now, as you get towards the very end, the only real way that you can improve this team, like, this is like the ideal team to go into. So to improve Hamsky, it would be Sebas, right? So this would be like your next tank improvement. He's the only 5-star tank. Overall, he's just got higher defense, higher HP. His taunt is slightly better, but not much. The only reason why you're picking him over Hamsky is because of his defense and HP. Not to mention he is a power unit, and Hamsky is green, and you probably will have Shizu on your team at this point still. Now, the next improvement for the team, if you have it, is Entama. I would replace Entama with Pandora. I do not have Pandora, so I'm going to keep Entama there. But if you have Pandora, then Entama could be replaced by Pandora on your team. Typically, you want 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 buffer and debuffer, and 1 DPS. That's typically the goal, right? Now, of course, we already know that the only improvement for healer that we can have after that point is Mare. But if you do not have Mare, we're going to come back to a scenario for that. But Mare, Pandora, Sebas, then replacing Shizu, oh, you might have heard my dog bark there. The only real options that you've got, you might hear my dog barking. The only options you've got that is not Shizu but does damage, you can run any of the 5-stars, to be fair. Kokaitis, I would give a skip out on. I would still pick Shizu over Kokaitis for damage just because he's slow. You could run Shoutir. Again, you don't really want to run her because she's not going to cover enough damage for your team. So the best option would be either Demiurge or Ainz. Maybe Albedo and Marsteins. Like, maybe. But for this case scenario, Ainz would be the best bet. So this would be, like, if you had Pandora instead of Entama, this would be, like, the ideal team going into it. You could, however, replace Sebas and get another damage dealer in. And for me, it would either be Demiurge or Albedo. And I'm going to come back to that in a second. But if you want even more damage, then replace Sebas with either Demiurge or Albedo. Now, if you do not have Mare and you need to beat this mission, the only way you can really possibly beat this, like, all the missions on your own with 3-star, is to run you and to replace your second tank with, where is it? I keep missing it. Crush. And then Pandora, you would have to replace him with either like Demiurge or Albedo because you need damage. Like, you're just gonna have to skip out on a tank roll. And well, Albedo's pretty tanky anyway, but yeah, this would probably be like one of the better teams you could go into. You would have to run 2 healers. I don't think you're really gonna find it easy if you're gonna be using just 1 healer with 4-star. Oh, nice little battery thing. But ideally, that was the dream team, the one I just kind of showed you a moment ago. So we'll get that back up again. We'll use Sebas and yeah, Pandora. So you would use that as your team. Relics, that's all optional. I'm not really going to go into detail with that. But yeah, that would be the ideal team. Again, if you don't have Mare, run 2 healers. If you don't want to run a tank and you just want to run extra DPS, then replace him with Demiurge and Albedo. Demiurge or Albedo. Aura is a good alternative as well. However, her her Petrify won't petrify the final boss such as Ainz and the other final bosses at the end, but it'll help before then if you do need it. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helps. I have been grinding up my account, trying to improve it a little bit. I don't know what my next few videos will probably be. Probably something to do with relics, because a lot of people ask me about relics and what teams to put that with. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you with team building for farming and also for the endgame. The endgame content, the chaos field, which has only got 3 days left. So at the time of watching this video, this will help you in the upcoming the upcoming chaos fields. So yeah, hopefully it did help. I'm currently working on just like quick account update. So I just finished getting Albedo to level 100, like maxing her skills. The only next thing I'm going to focus on is Irons and Mare to 100. And also try and get my account level up a little bit more. I want to try and get my account level to 100. That would be pretty cool. There are a few people that I've seen that are over 100 now, but currently I'm sitting on level 82, which is still pretty low considering there's a few people. I think one of them's like 116, 115, and I've heard rumors of someone in public games that are over 100, like just one or two people. So yeah, that's overall my team building guide, and hopefully it helped. And hopefully, you know, you can complete the chaos fields as they come later on in the game. So anyway, you guys, take care and peace out.